What is up? It is Chris Colgan, your Virginia and DC real estate expert. I really want to talk about the market here because it is obviously shifting. So somebody that's been in the business for the past 18 years, I have seen this before. I want to talk a little bit about the numbers, talk about what you can do if you're thinking about buying or selling, and my current thoughts on the state of the market. So recently I decided to dive into the local numbers here, and what I did was I went from May this past month to May last year, and I wanted to see the differences. So let's talk about it. Obviously, let's get into the biggest county in Virginia, one of the biggest in the DC area, Fairfax. So in 2021, there was 2,509 houses listed, and then 2022, there was 2,325 houses listed. So obviously last year, more houses actually hit the market. But the odd thing is, when you look at it, which makes total sense, as far as what went under contract, in 2021, 1,917, but in this year, 1,300. So we lost about 25% in sales. So these interest rate hikes, inflation, and all that is obviously making a change on the local market. But don't panic just yet, because when you look at some more numbers, the median price sold in 2021 was $655, and then in 2022 it was $715. Days on market was actually higher last year at 12 days, or this year it was 9 days. So the odd thing is the market's still moving, prices are still increasing, but we're about 25% sales down. So let's talk about that, right? Like, we have inflation. So gas right now is pushing $5 a gallon. The cost of groceries and everything is more expensive, and the Fed has raised the rates up from 3% all the way up to 5.25%. Now, I am starting to see some price reductions start to come along, and what happened is a lot of sellers sat on the fence way too long to sell, and then they tried to get that top tier price, and now they missed, kind of like my opinion, they missed the mark there, and now they're having to lower the price to get a little bit normal. So I don't think, based on the rest of these numbers I'm going to read you guys, that we're going to be heading for a huge crash, because like I've said before in previous videos, they really made it hard to get a loan the last decade. It was not easy to go up and get a loan like it was in the mid 2000s, and there wasn't just money being thrown at the mortgage market this time as well. And also, as you guys know, some of the people's wages around here have really increased. So let's talk about the rest of the market. So what I'll do, let's talk about units listed for each county. So Loudoun County, it was 1,012 last year, 991 this year. Arlington, 493 last year. This year, 427. And DC, 1,461, and then 1,464 this year. So DC is about the same as it was last year. Prince William here, 1,098 last year, 1,883 this year. Stafford, 456 last year, 427 this year. Alexandria, 362, and then 383 this year. So Alexandria definitely, to me so far, has had a little bit of the slowdown outside of the DC marketplace. Now, earlier, that shocking number that I did talk about was how much home sales have come down over last year. So let's go through each county there. So Loudoun was 872, but this year it's 556. So that's a significant drop. But think about it, right? If you were approved to 650,000 at 2.75, and now you waited around and the rate is 5.5, it's probably going to take you down another 100 to 150,000 in affordability. So a lot of people just gave up, right? So I don't see, and for some reason there is this little thing where people are going around saying, you know what? I think I'm gonna wait for the rates to go down. They're not going down anytime soon. The Fed has said they're steady and fast with this. It's gotta help with inflation. That's the only way they see to get out of it. So I think we're gonna be a couple years of this rate increase. But you gotta remember too, mid 2000s, even the 80s and 90s, they were way above 10, sometimes 20%. So looking at the rest of those sold numbers, Arlington was 293 last year, 247. So Arlington continues to be a strong area, as well as Fairfax. Getting into DC, 1,000 last year, 736 this year. So DC is really taken a hit so far. Prince William County, 874 last year, 626 this year. Stafford, 362 last year, 275 this year. And then Alexandria, 267 last year, 229 this year. So, you know, the closer you get into DC, obviously, the better the market can be. But keep in mind that Arlington and Alexandria, DC can be a little skewed because condos in general just take longer to sell. Now let's talk about those median prices year over year. So Loudoun last year, 630, this year, 700. Arlington, 730 last year. This year, 675. 675. So shockingly, prices crept down in Loudoun. To me though, that's not a huge shock because you could have had some very expensive house sales and also, again, very strong condo market. DC 730, last year 675. Again, no alarm there because you know what? Again, a ton of condos. So in Prince William County, last year it was 490,000. This year it's 530. So improvement in Prince William County. Stafford 450,000, 485,000 last year. Then you get into Alexandria, 580,000 last year, 655,000 this year. Days on market in any county really didn't sway that much. It's been about the same. So where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. If you do, please tell me. Here's what you can do. If you're going to buy a house, definitely buy for the long term. Do not buy a house anytime, no matter the market's crazy or slow. If you're only going to stay there for 2 years, right? Like even when the prices typically go up 3 to 5%, it's not worth buying a place for 5 years and 2 years and hoping that you're going to flip it, because by the time you pay taxes, fees, and all that, it's not worth your time. So if you're in there for the long haul, keep in mind, I tell people all the time, my house has almost doubled in value, and I bought my house in 2009 at 7% interest, and since then it's almost doubled in value, and the rates were down, at some point by 3, but they're getting back to 5.5. So at that point, if I would have not bought because of the interest rates, I would have lost double equity here. So, and we only had 1 or 2 bad years. We've been on this tear here. So naturally, again, the housing market around here heavily relies on the federal government. As I've always said, if the government goes down, we're going down with it, but I don't see the federal government going anywhere anytime soon. Obviously, everyone needs the federal government. We got Boeing moving in here, other large corporations moving in here to get these government contracts, something that we're gonna see continually, obviously. Another good thing is you're starting to see Prince William and Loudoun and all these outer counties really having success as these roads get finished. And so 66 is almost done out here. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you are thinking about buying or selling anywhere in the country, especially Northern Virginia, let me know. I would love to be your agent of choice. Someone from me or my team can definitely help you. Email me anytime, Chris Colgan at Colgan Team, or text me personally, 571-437-7575. I can also talk to you more about the market, but you know what? I've been doing this for 18 years. It's not something that I just got my license and just started to figure all this out. So I know numbers. I've seen this all before. No time to panic. If you're thinking about selling, yeah, you probably should sell. If you're thinking about buying, make sure it's a wise decision. Give me a call. I can walk you through that process. Right now, the good thing is you don't need to be waiving appraisals and everything under the sun. Something else I can talk to you about it. Definitely subscribe to this channel. I'm going to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I will see you at the top or from the top. Peace.